Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Apothecary Diaries Season 2 episode number 15 reaction. Okay, the previous episode we dealt with the whole ghost situation with Lishu, and turns out it was a magic mirror, and a little bit of faulty mechanisms, that made the curtain move, making it seem as if there's wind blowing in a closed room, and the magic mirror had like her mother's face engraved in it, so it seemed like it was a ghost over there, but it was actually his mother's reflection from the mirror, reflecting the moonlight. And also we get to see this one person who was harassing Lishu, who was the previous, head lady in waiting. And Jinshi was able to stop her because she literally was wearing Lishu's hairpin, which all the high ranking concubines should wear. So yeah, that was like physical evidence on her for her harassing Lishu. So Jinshu told her to stop it, and we kind of dealt with that. And then in the ending, we meet that person, like one of those unishes that we got, that we have, and that person that has been on focus. We got to see that person. Jinshi was going to talk to that person, but that is when trouble struck. Zhaoran apparently like broke something, and that was like very important for like something, and she's in trouble now. So I'm guessing Mamo is probably going to help her here. Let's see what happens. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Hmm. All right, here we go. Yeah. Damn. Ugh. Mm. And its eyes. And obviously, refrigeration was a very difficult thing back then. Exactly. By a person with it? Damn. Yeah, who is it? Lolan, oh yeah. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure, okay, I've said this multiple times, but yeah, used to make something else. Less than an hour. What's she planning to do? Okay. Well, he might be able to help. He has a lot of, uh, you know. Well, I've been, obviously, like, I'm still not 100% sure, but if Shisui is actually Lolan, I think it'll be fine. Hmm. Ah. Yeah, that person in the bath. Hmm. Oh, damn. Right. Can you help? Like, Hmm. Right. Oh, okay. Well, but she's our friend. True, at the beginning, like in first season, she was just like, occasionally just here. But now in season two, like, a lot of focus are falling on her and Shisui. Just say that you want to help her. That's it. Right. I'm wondering what she's planning to do. Like, so eyes. You remember what happened with the ox bells? Bro, she just. Because I remember he was going to say something to her. Oh, yeah, true. Oh, what the. Right. Hmm. Yeah, not yet. Okay, so yeah, he's going to say, like, that would be her. Yeah. Hmm. Like, I I don't think I can put my finger on it, but what she's planning to do is obviously science, but I guess I'll have to see it first to properly connect the dots. Okay, fruits. Hmm. Oh, she's gonna make ice cream. Oh my god. I just realized. I thought she was gonna make ice. So I was like, how can you make ice from ice? But then I realized no, she's gonna make ice cream. Okay. And this is literally on the opening as well. You can see the ending part of the opening song. Ice cream. And that's why fruits and stuff too, kind of. Yeah. Damn, Mama literally invented ice cream. Or not invented because she said she saw it before. So, mm, okay. Oh yeah, salt. Okay, okay, I see. Yeah, it's going to. Yep. Yeah. Ice cream. Nice. Make sure it just doesn't melt. Quickly go and give it to her. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can make more later because I'm pretty sure there's more ice there. Ah, there you go. Yes, it is. He's like, what the hell is this? Right. Well, obviously, who doesn't like ice cream? Wait, she's here. Am I? I'm pretty sure she's is low. Oh, but I guess she must have a body double. Bruh. Yeah, you have more stuff. Right. Hmm. Oh. Mau Mau and Mau Mau. Mm. Like, fun fact, if you didn't know, both her and her daughter is voice acted by the same person. I saw that in some. I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw that. Downwards. Is something wrong if you click? Wait a minute. Downwards. That means head is up, right? Yeah. Oh, that's not good, right? Usually you come. Because usually the head comes out first, right? I have no idea. Like, I'm just. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Temporarily entered. Yeah. She just read about it. Breach. What does breach mean? There you go. Okay, I was correct. Yeah, because head it comes out head first, the baby. So if you're kicking down, that means it's upturned. Yeah. So maybe C-section. That's I think that's the way to do it, right? In this type of situation, cesarean, But that'll probably, like, hmm, okay, okay, yeah, well, hmm, yeah, I was moxibustion. What is that? I have no idea what that means. Like, there's a possibility of because the head will get, I don't know. There you go. I was going to say cesarean, C-section cut off. Yeah, yeah. At back in the days, it's very risky. Maybe you're, but I guess not. I don't know. I was going to say your father, your adoptive father, right? But I guess he left the palace, so he come back? I don't know. What? No. Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah. So no, but he's the best person. Yeah. Well, because. Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Just let us speak. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Boy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's like we cannot just do this like in a haphazard way, you know, like yeah, you yeah, letter. Oh, Loman's here. Oh, he's back. Yeah, obviously yeah. Yeah. Bruh. Like a normal person. Wow. Yeah. Well, probably someone like her. What? Oh, oh my god, it's that character again. Okay. Uh, Okay, and that was today's episode. All right, so today's episode was ice cream, and the latest section was the whole bringing Loman back to the rare palace. Now, the first section, ice cream section, basically, Mama made ice cream so that like the little trouble that happened because of dropping the ice, that can be countered and that can properly be uh, you know like solved. Now, in the first section, the ice cream section, there's a few things to talk about. First and foremost, the ice was being brought for Lola. So I was like, now here's the thing. Like, I've been saying this from like that episode, from the ghost episode, from when we got a proper close up look at Shisui, and where Mama hinted, or not hinted, I would say, but there was a section when Mama was like, I feel like I've seen her, like like I like like this seems familiar or something like that, she said. And I kind of went and looked properly and then kind of saw her eyes and kind of checked it with Lolan's eyes, and there's like a 50-50 chance in my head for Lolan to be actually Shisui in disguise. But if that's the case, a lot of other questions pop up. Like, when Shisui is in here along with Mama and everything, who is there as Lola? Does she have a body double? Or does she just, during the times when she's outside playing around with Mama and everyone, is she just doesn't show her face? Is she just like, like maybe in her room, like, somewhere private and nobody knows where she is? Like, and I'm pretty, if that's what's going on, I'm pretty sure she must have a body double. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for her to sneak out in the middle of the daytime, right? Like, it's not as if she's sneaking out at night. She's just up and about in the daytime as well. So again, at the end of the day, maybe like some other revelation will come, and I'll completely, like, like my theory is will completely get just, I don't know, like just destroyed. It is possible that maybe this is not, Shisui is not Lolan, but maybe she has like some twin sister or something. That might also be possible. I don't know, but it has to be something, some kind of a mystery between Shisui and, Lolan. So I've been saying that from the very beginning. And today's episode, if that was actually the case, I'm pretty sure Lolan probably wouldn't have said anything, even if Mao Mao and what's her name, Zhao, like Zhaolan wasn't able to like provide anything for the broken ice. I doubt she would have, like done anything, or but I guess that Yunush probably would have gotten punished. Yeah. Um. Either way, I feel like that's the case. Also, like, I don't know, like the fact that if what I'm saying is true, if Lolan and Shisui are actually the same person, then it's kind of funny because that person took the ice cream to bring it to Lolan, and then we see Shisui literally there beside them eating the ice cream, and I'm like, bro, what? Right. So yeah, that's kind of funny. But anyways, again, these are all speculations. I'm not really sure if that's her. Again, like I said, anything else could be happening. It might be like a twin sister or something else going on. I doubt it's a twin sister because like they literally mentioned that like what was his name, Shisho, right? Lolan's father. Like like I don't think they've mentioned anything about having a sister or something, or maybe they still haven't. I don't know. But anyways, this is my current thought. Now I might be completely wrong. That's why I'm saying 50-50 chance, because I'm very much sure that Lolan and Shisui are the same person, because there's a lot of hints kind of showing that. Either way, let's wait and see. I do wonder if they reveal something about like this. When will they do it? Will it be in this season, or maybe we'll have to wait a more seasons? But yeah, but I want to check if I'm correct or not. So let's wait and see. Yeah. Now, yeah, that was the whole thing with ice cream. So the Mama literally made ice cream and brought like told the Yunush to go and bring it to Lolan. That like she was waiting for like an ice, like an ice cold treat or something like that. So this is perfect. Yeah, and there you go. we solved that problem. And this part also kind of shows how Mama said that at the very beginning, like Xiaolan was just a person to get to know rumors from, because if you remember in season one, she didn't really have that much of a role in the anime. Like like Xiaolan was there once or twice, like in like every 3 or 4 episodes, we used to just see her once or twice, for like 5 minutes or something, and it was all that she did was just she just talked to Mama and told her what's going on and everything, and that's it. And then little by little from season 2, you can see that we're kind of getting to see Xiaolan every single episode, and it kind of increased when Shisui came into the equation. Like before Shisui obviously wasn't there in season 1, but in season 2, after Shisui came in, you could see they started showing more and more, like Xiaolan, Shisui, and Mao Mao, the trio of them, and started focusing more on them. And now she is a person, and I guess in a way it's also an indication of Mao Mao's growing relationship with these two. So at the beginning, because we barely get to see them, it kind of implied that yeah, Mao Mao just talked to her as an acquaintance. But now that more and more episodes are going, you can see almost every episode we can see them once or twice. So kind of indicating that yeah, Mao Mao is getting more and more acquainted and more closer to them, and are becoming more and more friends. So Xiaoran is a good friend of her currently in this season, unlike the first season where they were just merely acquainted. So yeah, that was also kind of Mama also kind of said that in the beginning, like it was just like that, but now I want to help her, right? So there you go. The first section went smoothly. Oh, also, for getting like Jinshi's help with the kitchen and the ingredients, Mama said that she's going to wear the hairpin, that Jinshi gave to her. At first, at first, Jinshi was like, just listen to when I say something and pay attention. Don't just cut me off and just go on your own world. Because he was talking about that episode where he gave her the Ox and she just literally didn't listen to him at all. So his whole, like I'm pretty sure Jinshi wanted to tell her the whole truth back then. Like obviously it's pretty obvious. Like Mama also kind of knows him not being a eunuch and all that, but I feel like Jinshi would have probably said everything, like related to like his lineage, the fact that he's not a eunuch, all these things he probably would have was probably planning to tell her then, but Mama just like yeah, just clocked out immediately. And that is why you can see today he said that after you wear the hairpin, I'll tell you the truth. So I think he wants to like complete what he wanted to say back then. Now after later when Mama wears the hairpin, he probably wants to tell her the full truth after that. Anyways, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that is what Mao promised. So I'm assuming from next episode onwards, maybe, or maybe a few episodes later, we're going to see Mama wearing the hairpin, because in the opening you can see she's wearing the hairpin. I kind of noticed that. So yeah. Anyways, there you go. That was the ice cream section. Now the later part of today's episode is where we get to see Yokio's complications with the unborn child. So basically, this time the like the kicking, like Mama heard her saying like, oh, she's the person, like the kid is kicking downwards. So now, like, here's the thing. I like these type of science, like biology stuff and everything. We all read about this back in like school and college and stuff. Like I also studied about all of this. But it's been a while, so I just don't remember much. But I did remember that obviously when a kid is born, the head comes out first, and like when she said that the baby was kicking downwards, it would mean that it's kicking downwards, that would mean the head is up. So I was thinking maybe that's going to make some complications or something, because yeah, if you think about it, I'm not exactly sure what complications it makes, if you take out the baby from leg first instead of head first. But there must be some big complications, right? You know what? Let me just check. It's the 21st century. Google answers everything. Uh, Complications if baby is born. Okay. Okay, here we go. Baby born feet first, breech presentation can face increased risk during delivery compared to baby born head first. Risks include umbilical cord prolapse. Oh, I see. Birth asphyxia. Makes sense. Birth asphyxia, obviously, if the baby gets born, leg first, I guess the head will probably get, because if you bring the head out first, I guess, yeah, I think it's way more safer to bring the, if you put the leg first, the head might get stuck. And obviously you're a little kid, you're very sensitive. A little bit of pressure can probably injure, yeah, potential injury to baby's limbs or head. There you go. Umbilical cord prolapse, I should have realized that, because the from the head first, that means, okay, yeah, I see. Okay, makes sense. Right. Now there was another thing that I didn't know. Let me just check it. Like later on, when Mama said like there's some, like exercises and stuff that you can do. There was a section where she said something. I don't remember what that term means. Let me check. I said like I have no idea what this term means. Just a minute. Okay. I cannot find that part now. I cannot find that part. You know what? In the scene by scene discussion, if I find that part, I'll check what it means. Oh, here we go. Moxibustion. What's that? What does that mean? Moxibustion. Moxibustion is traditional Chinese medicine therapy that involves burning dried mugwort or other herbs near specific acupuncture points on the body. Oh, I see. Well, okay, I had no idea about this. Okay. So yeah, these are like methods to for the baby to automatically kind of little by little, I guess. Yeah, but as she said, like these you don't have much time. Like usually if you have time, it is doable little by little. I guess the baby can probably turn. I'm sure there's like different exercises that you can do to probably make the baby turn. But she just doesn't have that time. So we do need someone to help with the C-section. It's called C-section, right? Or am I just spouting nonsense? Let me check. The incision in the stomach. C-section or cesarean section, surgical procedure to deliver a baby through incisions. Yeah, okay, I was correct. Like I said, it's been a while. I just don't remember maybe a lot of the terms and everything. But yeah, it is called C-section or cesarean section. So obviously in these type of situation, back in the days, it's very risky doing these C-sections. And nowadays we have like a lot of like stuff, like a lot of machines, a lot of like trained personnel, a lot of advancement in medicine. So it's not that risky. Like still there's a risk, but like it's not as risky as back then, obviously. um but I think nowadays there's no risk at all. I'm not 100% sure. Again, like I said, I don't know much about these type of things. But with the current medical situation, I think there probably is not much risk with the cesarean section. But back then, obviously, there's a lot of things to think about. First and foremost, you need a doctor who can properly do it, who is actually trained in this. Number two, a lot of other things are like, because like you don't have any machines, you have to do it yourself. A lot of things you have to do to prevent infection, and a lot of other stuff we have to keep in mind. So yeah, it was tough back then. That is why you need someone who can do it. You cannot just bring some doctor who has maybe like is not really experienced in this and let her do that, do the surgery. Yeah, you're screwed, like literally. So that is why Mama was like, I know one person. Obviously it is her adoptive father, but her adoptive father was exiled, so that's the problem. Obviously Hunya wasn't happy about it, but Gyokyo was like, you know what, if Mama trusts this person, like I think we should give this a try. And yeah, because you don't really have any other choice here. Like, you can be stubborn and be like, oh no, he's an ex person who has been exiled, we shouldn't ask help from him. And you might say stuff like this. And I obviously, I'm like, you can understand Honyan's concern as well. She's more concerned about the fact that someone who has been exiled is obviously a criminal. So a criminal is going to be operating on her. So this criminal can be the best at surgery, but it doesn't matter because he might try something else. So that's the thing I'm guessing Hongyan was thinking about. But as you can see, Yokio was like, you shouldn't judge people for what is in their records back then, because if you remember, back then a lot of things happened, a lot of crimes that were probably not justified as well was put on a lot of people. So we shouldn't be judging people back then, you know currently in this manner, without knowing what they actually did and the real reason why they were exiled. And I feel like the biggest reason why Gyokyo accepted is because she is Mao Mao's adoptive father, because she has been with Mao Mao for a long amount of time, and she knows what type of a person Mao Mao is. So if Mao Mao is like this, obviously she's like, her father, adoptive father, couldn't be as bad as people say. Like, he might be exiled, but there must be some reason. Um, so yeah. Anyways, there you go. And in the end, Loman comes in, and right, there you go. That's how this episode ended. So I'm guessing next few episodes will probably be focusing on these, the baby delivery. No, I guess not, because they said there's still a little bit of time, because now she'll probably be doing exercises and the moxification. I think that's what they called it, those type of things. And I guess eventually a time will come when her baby will be born. That is the time when we'll need Loman. But for now, I think we'll probably be focusing on other stuff. I don't know. It could just be like the next episode, like her baby's delivered. We can get a time skip or something. Who knows? Let's wait and see. Anyways, there you go. And that was today's episode. Right. Good episode. And yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay. Now, that was my overall impressions for today. Now, let me talk about this episode scene by scene. Okay. In the very first scene, you can see that section where everyone's just looking at the whole spectacle that is happening. Like, Xiaolan bumped into someone who dropped the ice, and the Yunish is like, oh my god, a lot of bad things are going to happen to me. No, this was Princess Lolan's ice, and what should I do now? And yeah, obviously back in the day, ice obviously is very precious. As the Mao Mao said, it was so precious that you can buy a person with that, which is crazy if you think about it. Like, because nowadays ice is just ice. But yeah, it makes sense. Like, I guess it would depend on where you lived back then. Like, if you lived in like a cold place, maybe, like, then I'm guessing the ice, like the cost for ice would probably be a lot less, because they're literally here in the, like, it's just not a cold place at all, as I'm assuming. So to bring the ice, a lot of preservation process it has to be gone through. And back then, obviously, refrigeration wasn't really a thing like we have nowadays. So like, a lot of effort. Like, it's not that ice is precious because that's why it's like, it's costly. It's because the work that would go into it is tremendous. So it was basically that. So that is why it is so precious, and and it broke. So he's like, now what? So Mama says, like, whose eyes was this for? And he says, like, Princess Lolan. And yeah, because Mama probably, if it was Li Shu or Li Hua, she probably could have gone there and be like, like, talk to them directly and explain what had happened. She has connection to both of them, pretty good connections. And obviously, if it was Gyokyo's, then there's no trouble at all, I guess. But she's like, oh, the only like person that I don't have any connection with. But I was like, yeah, if what I'm thinking is correct, if Shisui is actually Lola, then in a weird way, funnily enough, she actually has connections with her as well. But anyways, obviously, I doubt, like, even if that was the case, even if Shisui is Lolan, I doubt Lolan could give them any type of favors, like, or like, like, be partial, partial to them, because she is supposed to be a person, or like, she's supposed to not have any connections with them. She cannot just act as if, like, like, yeah, it'll be weird. So yeah, but still, you know anyways, Mao is like, I'm gonna do something else with this, give me the eyes. Obviously at this point, the eunuch has nothing to do, so he's like, go take it, do whatever you want to. So there's 1 more hour left. So yeah, and now Mao is like, all right, let's do this. He She sees Jin, she's just there waiting. So she's like, in her head, she's like, yeah, I will have to ask him for help. So she goes to, the doctor, and like, obviously Xiaolan is crying, and Mao is like thinking about how Xiaolan was so happy getting the hairpin, and this low ranking concubine liked her, so he gave it to her, so she was very happy about that. But now she's just crying and everything. So this is where I, again, it's been a long time I've watched season one. They probably mentioned this in season one, but I guess I kind of forgot about it. But Xiaolan was sold off by her parents, and Mama said that even if that was the case, I've never seen this girl ever like cry or be sad. Like, she's always like, laughing, smiling, so energetic. So this is very, very serious, the fact that she's crying like this. And like, yeah, so Mama really wants to help her. So in the end, Mama asks Jinshi for help, and Jinshi's like, what do you want, tell me, is there anything I can do? And obviously Mama's like, god damn it, and she's like, I need help. And Jinshi's like, what do I get in return? So in the end, Mama was like, listen, I don't have anything to give you, but I'm still asking you for help. So in the end, Jinshi was like, all right, you know what? First and foremost, why are you so hell bent on helping her out? Isn't she just some person that you barely know that much? But yeah, this is why Mama was like, at the beginning, I just thought of her as some random girl who I gave, like, information, who I exchanged information with. But obviously, like, little by little, she grew more closer and closer to her. They exchanged food and stuff. Mao taught her to write and read. Then Shisui came in, and Shisui and her became good friends. Mao also became, like, a lot more connected to them. So she genuinely wants to help her. And it's funny because, like, even up until the very end, Mao couldn't really be honest and say that, oh, I just want to help her. She was like, oh, it's because if not, I'm not going to be able to sleep well. It'll affect my work next day. And Jinshi was like, okay, if that's the case, then we cannot have that. So at first, Jinshi was like, okay, all I ask you is that just listen to me when I'm talking. But then Mama was like, wait, okay, is that all? I don't think I've ever done anything that would warrant you to ask me something like this. And Jinshi's like, what are you on about? You literally, like the whole Osbioza thing. So then in the end, like, when Mao Mao's like handkerchief or the band thing fell down, Jinshi was like, oh, didn't I give you a hairpin? And like, you didn't sell it, right? Mom was thinking that I was planning on selling it, but then Jinshi was like, just wear that, from here onwards. And after you do that, I'll tell you the whole truth. But for now, like, the favor that he asks from her is wear that hairpin. And yeah, so obviously, I think this was established in season one, which is, if you wear the hairpin of someone in your head, like, like, indicates that person, like, it indicates like a very personal connection with that person, like, and I think, as far as I can remember, in season one, I forgot his name, that guy, Ah, God, what's his name? You know, the person who gave, there was another person who gave Mao Mao like a hairpin or something, and Mao Mao like wore it I think like for a moment wore it, and Jinshi saw that, and Jinshi, like, there was a whole section I remember in season one, Jinshi went into full depression because of that, if you remember, because she was wearing that, you know. So I do remember that. So it's very important, like, you know, like it's like wearing the hairpin is like a very big deal. You know, it's not just something like, you know, yeah, it's a very big deal. So Jinshi said that, yeah, you just wear that. That is, you know, all I want. Anyways, so now that they have made like a, you know, like a, you know, like an agreement. Yeah, Mama goes to the kitchen, gets all the ingredients from Jinshi. So fruits, salt, and milk. So obviously she crushes the ice. And I, at the very beginning, I was thinking like, okay, how is she going to make ice with ice? But then I realized that no, not necessarily you want to make ice. If you want something tasty with ice, that's all Lolan wants, you know. And then it struck me, I was like, oh, in literally in the opening they saw an ice cream, you know, like thing. So I was like, okay, they're going to make ice cream. So, you know, she breaks the rest of the ice, puts it there, puts salt over there, and then puts the milk over on top of it, starts just, you know, like kind of mixing it, and little by little it kind of hardens, and then Mama puts in the fruits and there's other stuff. Okay, one thing I do know, like, you know, putting salt on in ice and doing this kind of makes it, but I think I knew about the scientific reason, I've forgotten about it. So let me just check. Salt in ice. uh, Adding salt to ice causes ice to melt faster. Oh, because salt lowers the freezing point of water. This is water needs to be cold. This means that water needs to be colder to freeze, and ice melts before it can refreeze. Wait a minute. Salt in ice to make ice cream. Salt lowers the freezing point of water and is used in making homemade ice cream to provide a colder environment that helps ice cream mixture freeze and solidify more quickly. Wait, what? Salt lowers freezing point of water. Makes sense. Used to. Oh, the salt creates a brine solution with the ice, which is colder than pure ice and water, drawing heat away from the ice cream mixture. And yeah, okay, I was thinking it must be something to do with, like, you know, like the taking out heat from the because, you know, they were putting the milk on top, the container with the milk in it on top of that, so that would mean that the ice is taking away more cold, like, you know, like heat from the milk to make it cool. Yeah, okay. Salt creates a brine solution with the ice, which is colder than pure ice and water, drawing heat away from the ice cream mixture, aiding the freezing process. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so there you go. That is like the scientific reason why that happened. And then she put in fruits and everything, and there you go, ice cream. And and Jana's like, oh my god, this is so tasty. And she, like, the mama gives her a little bit, and she's like, oh, this is so good. And then in comes the other dude, and he's like, is this really okay? This and that. And mama was like, stop. And just puts the ice cream in his mouth. You know, actions speak louder than words. And then he's like, yeah, this is pretty good. So he goes to bring it to Lolan. And then Shisui comes in immediately and starts taking the ice cream and eating it. And then Jaolan's like chasing her. Kind of funny, you know. Yeah. Next, that was that part with the ice cream. Next, we get to see the section with Gyokyo. So, you know, like the baby's kicking, and Mama was there playing with the princess. And then this is where she gets to overhear Gyokyo saying the baby's kicking downward. So she immediately thinks like something is wrong going on. So she's like, let me check. She goes there, and she's like, there's a possibility that, like she said, I think like she called it breach, you know, birth. Yeah. So there's a possibility of something like that. So basically, the head, instead of being down, is up. So it's going to come out, the baby's going to come out leg first, which is not good. So, you know, so, and Mama also asks a lot of questions. For example, when, you know, the princess was born, uh, who was there with during the delivery process. Hongyan was there with as a helper, and then there was some other person who helped with the delivery and all that. But yeah, that was back when everything was, normal. This time, if this is like a breech delivery, as they said, then that wouldn't suffice. There's a huge risk that is there, and Mama kind of says that, and says that this is, you need a professional in these type of situations, because in these type of situations you have to do an incision, and for that we need someone who really knows what to do, because back then, a lot of risk to the mother. So Mama was like, I do know a person who can help with this. Oh no, before that, no, sorry, before that, Mama says, let me kind of just like, let me what's that word, like examine you. Yeah, let me examine you properly. So next we get to see Mama examines her properly, and then she comes up with the final verdict. Yeah, high possibility of it being a breech delivery, so it's very risky. And she says, like, you can kind of change it normally. A lot of the times the baby in themselves kind of change positions, or if you do a proper exercise and stuff, you can do it. But this time you don't have the time, or the the amount of time left to properly for that process to happen. So Mama was like, I can recommend someone, but the problem is he has been exiled. He's technically a criminal. So immediately Hongyan was like, no, I'm not going to allow that, this and that. But Gokyo was like, let her speak first, let her finish. The reason why she said this must mean that there's something to it. Otherwise, Mama wouldn't say something like this. So then Mama was like, yeah, he is my adoptive father. He has a very good track record. He has delivered a lot of people's babies and everything, But yeah, he got exiled and all that stuff. So there you go. Still, Hongyan was like, no, I cannot allow this. He's a criminal, this and that. But then Gokyo was like, you shouldn't put in the crimes back then. In current situation, there's a lot of things have changed. So you shouldn't really hold that, in the current, yeah. So also, I'm pretty sure Gyokyo said yes, mainly because he's Mao Mao's adoptive father. Because she has been, like, like, she knows Mao Mao for quite a while. She knows how good and how trustworthy Mao Mao is. So someone who, like, took care of her when she was a kid, must not be a bad person. So that's why, that is probably the biggest reason why Gyokyo said yes. And yeah, in the end, Lomen comes into the rare palace, and he's like, oh, after so long, I'm back here. And he introduces himself. Yeah, and Mama mentions that the quack doctor didn't lose his job or anything. Loman is just a temporary addition to the rare palace, and after, I guess, the delivery is done, he'll probably go back. So there you go, that's that. Also, everyone comments on how he is nothing like Mao Mao. Everyone's like, oh my god, he's so normal. Like, unlike you, Mao Mao, he's so normal. Oh boy. But yeah, anyways, then in the end, you can see that scene where, that person, I'm calling, that, Yunush, that person, because unless and until they, like, confirm that is that lady from season 1, Sweetie, I think that was her name, or something like that. Unless and until they confirm that, I'm going to call this person that person. Like, I'm going to call it, like, this character like that. Unless and until they confirm it, because yeah, we still don't know. Like, it's pretty damn obvious that it's the same person from season 1, but unless and until they spell it out for us, I'm just going to refer to this character as like that. So that person is there in front of the gravestone, and I don't know whose grave that is. There was something written in Japanese. Obviously, I cannot read Japanese, so I cannot say what was written there. But on the gravestone, there's something written. Yeah, I don't know what's written there, so I cannot really say anything. Anyways, that's where it ended. So there you go. That was episode number 15 of Apothecary Diaries season 2. Really good episode, as always. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. That is it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Apothecary Diaries. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.